welcome back to a regularly scheduled episode of the BJack 70 Show. I'm your host, Brandon Jackson, and we're coming off a bad week by the statistics, but in our hearts, it was an amazing weekend. Shedeur Sanders got his first start. The Browns got a win. We bet the Browns plus 3.5, and that was our one betting win on the week. The other four games lost, but if we were going to choose a week to go 1-4, the week that we picked the Browns in Shedeur Sanders' first start on this podcast, that's acceptable for me. That's acceptable for me. I don't know about you. I apologize if you did tail for a 1-4 week. That's on me. That's my bad. But me personally, I will accept a 1-4 because that one in 1-4 was Shedeur. So, but anyway, thanks for being here. Appreciate you watching. Go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and a little programming reminder or programming updates for the channel. You're watching Takeaway Tuesday right now. It's Thanksgiving on Thursday, so we're gonna do a little bit something different this week. Um, Brandon's bets will come to you Wednesday night because probably gonna include some of the Thanksgiving games, maybe the Friday game. We'll see, but Brandon's bets will get to you before the Thanksgiving games kick off, and we're also doing on the channel a mailbag episode. So if you want a question answered, put it in the comments, put it on Twitter, put it on Instagram, leave it on TikTok, wherever. I'll see it, I'll get to it, and I'll get to it, answer it in the mailbag. So, once again, Brandon's Bets coming on Wednesday. Mailbag also coming on Wednesday. So, when you're seeing this is Tuesday. You got you basically got a day. Get your questions in and answer them on the mailbag because we're celebrating 50 subscribers. Already past 50 subscribers, but celebrating a milestone on the channel. So I want to thank you guys. I want to thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Um, coming up on a year doing this, and we're having fun. We're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep Brandon's bets going. We're gonna get back on track, get back on the horse, keep the party going. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead and officially recap Brandon's bets. 35 and 25 through 12 weeks of the season. And like I said, 1-4 week had Chiefs minus 3.5. They won by 3. And I'm a man of my word. I said if they did cover, I wasn't going to bet them anymore during the regular season. And as I stare at the FanDuel line with them against the Cowboys on Thanksgiving at -3, not 3.5, I like how it looks, but I'm a man of my word. I will not touch it, will not bet it on this show because I said I wouldn't because they didn't cover. And I'm tired of them not covering. So I'm going to stand my ground, see if they make the playoffs, see what happens, and go from there. I just want to remind everybody that a few weeks ago I called the Colts frauds, and look what they did. They were up 11. Things were going well. I know it's the Chiefs, but y'all, Indianapolis Colts. A lot of y'all fans was in my comments talking about y'all was the new hotness. Well, looking old and busted right now. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna go too far into it. I've had my beef with Colts fans. That's something y'all got to deal with. Losing a double digit lead. That's something y'all got to deal with. I'll let y'all deal with that on your own. When y'all come to the realization that you have Daniel Jones as your starting quarterback. And you see what happens when Jonathan Taylor isn't skipping into the end zone. So I'm gonna let y'all live with that. Had the Lions minus 10.5. I didn't know Jameis was gonna play. When I said, when I picked the Lions on the podcast, I thought Jackson Dart was gonna start. And I like Jackson Dart. But I feel like if Jackson Dart was in the game, the Lions would have covered. But Jameis just brings too much variance. I do not like betting on or against Jameis Winston because he could throw 6 touchdowns. He could throw 6 interceptions. He could throw 3 and 3. Like it's too much variance in the Jameis Winston game. And I got caught with my pants down to be fully transparent. Didn't know he was gonna play. Thought it was gonna be Dart, and that was a bad one. That was a bad one. I thought they might be able to pull it out anyway, but they couldn't, and that was a loss. Obviously, we got the Browns plus 3.5. Talked about that. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Eagles minus 3.5. They were up 21-0. Scored touchdowns on the first 3 possessions, and then got blanked by the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboy defense blanked y'all. AJ Brown, hashtag AJ Brown is right. It's stuff wrong with that Philadelphia offense. And I don't know. I'm just saying minus 7. Is it -7 against the Chicago Bears on Friday? That's all I gotta say. I'm disgusted about that. And then Tampa Bay plus 6.5 at the Rams. I was wondering why this line was as big as it was. I found out. I found out quickly. Found out very early. Buccaneers didn't have anything for the Rams. Didn't have shit for the Rams. And I apologize. I apologize. I thought Baker would bounce back. He didn't. And he got hurt. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it at that because we will be talking a lot of Baker Mayfield today. Um, so we'll get into that pretty quickly, or not pretty quickly. I got some things to talk about before I talk about Baker, but trust and believe we're gonna talk about it. So why is everybody acting like Kevin Stefanski hates Shedeur Sanders? I know it's a popular opinion, and it at this point is the majority opinion that Kevin Stefanski hates Shedeur Sanders. I don't agree. I don't agree. And by the way, if you haven't seen, unrelated, Shedeur Sanders was named the starting quarterback against the San Francisco 49ers this week. Dylan Gabriel did clear concussion protocol, so they are choosing to stick with Shedeur Sanders even though Dylan Gabriel's healthy. And I and a lot of other people think that this is the right decision. I and a lot of people think that this was the only decision that you can make because if you walk into Huntington Bank Field, Cleveland Brown Stadium, and Dylan Gabriel took the starting snaps, a riot would have broken out. There's no way. There's no way you could have done that. So I don't know what they wanted to do, but they watched the film, they watched the tape, they saw the game, and they chose Shador Sanders to be the starting quarterback at least for another week against the San Francisco 49ers. So people people are going to point to the post game the post game interaction, non interaction from Kevin Stefanski, giving the game ball out to Miles Garrett. He Stefanski mentioned Shedeur Sanders by name. The first time Dylan Gabriel won, he didn't mention him at all. He didn't mention him by name at all. And I, you know, I understand what people are seeing from the outside when it comes to how Kevin Stefanski has handled the quarterback situation in general in Cleveland this year. But every since since the season has started, it's pretty much been what I expected to happen at every turn. The whole Shador wasn't getting first team reps thing, I understand, and I've gone through that on this podcast. He didn't get first team reps as a developmental backup because Dylan himself was also a developmental backup. And that's what the process would be for a rookie quarterback like you, but you usually only have one of those on your team. Nobody usually has two. So that kind of threw everything out of whack. But that pretty much went exactly how I thought things would go with what I know to be true about NFL football. Another thing is how Kevin Stefanski, we never, as a fan base, we never knew what exactly the plan was for Shador versus Dylan because, and I'm not, and you don't have to come out and say exactly what your plan is. Like we plan for Shador to not see the field, or Dylan's gonna get up until an opportunity up until this point, or if he takes advantage of his opportunity, he'll be the starter until he messes up. Like you don't really have to come out and say it in those terms, but through some kind of back channeling, this organization has no problem giving reporters info about what they want to get out. This team has shown in the past they have no problem doing that. So through Aditi Kingmanwala, I don't know how to say her name, but Diana Rossini, Daniel Fousier, any of these people, you can get your plan out. We're doing this with Dylan, we're doing this with Shador. We got none of that. And I understand because we got none of that. And if you're not familiar with how NFL teams work and how football teams work with their quarterbacks, it does look like they were doing Shador a certain way. But I I could be wrong, but I don't feel like this is the case. I don't think I don't think Kevin was doing this to be spiteful to Shador once once Shador actually got in the building. It was one thing, we all saw the draft footage. Kevin looked mad when they drafted him. But once he's in the building, I think Kevin is too professional of a coach to be holding grudges against rookies. And the main the number one reason that I personally don't feel like Kevin Stefanski hates Shador Sanders or harbors any type of ill will towards Shedeur Sanders is because I've seen, and you've seen if you're a Browns fan, if you've paid attention over the years, especially during the Kevin Stefanski era, we have seen Kevin Stefanski, what it looks like when he hates a quarterback. And that's going to be the last days of Baker Mayfield as a Cleveland Brown. In 2021, when Baker Mayfield was imploding because he had a torn labrum, but he refused to get surgery during the season, not play, and he insisted on playing and he hurt the team. Now, you'll probably say now, well, Kevin was the coach. Why didn't he just bench him? Well, if you were around in 2021, Baker Mayfield explicitly said in a press conference that the decision to keep playing was solely on him. Now, I don't know how he was empowered to be able to make that choice for himself, but it seems like at the time, Jimmy Haslam empowered Baker Mayfield to be able to make the decision on whether he played or not. So, but whoever empowered him to do that, he was empowered to do it. And Baker Mayfield himself was the person who singularly decided if he was going to play or if he was going to sit out because of injury. He chose to play and he flat out hurt the team. And this all came to a head the last game of Baker Mayfield's Cleveland Browns career. It was week 17 of the 2021 NFL season. The Cleveland Browns played the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm going to show you a highlight video of what Kevin Stefanski allowed the Pittsburgh Steelers, and more specifically, TJ Watt, what he allowed him to do to an injured Baker Mayfield who, again, made the decision to play.
Had 5 offensive plays each time around. No extended drive. Batted up in the air by TJ Watt and falls harmlessly to the turf.
You see TJ Watt right here on the edge. See him just read that 3-step stop and get his hands up in the air. It's perfect execution on the part of TJ. Lucky he didn't pick that thing off a little bit lower. He may be heading the other way for a pick 6.
Ready, go. TJ Watt swings him around and brings him down. The NFL sack leader.
You leave him one-on-one against your rookie 4th-round pick at tackle, that's probably going to be the result more times than not.
Pressure from the Steelers. Mayfield in trouble. He's going to be taken down. Who else but TJ Watt?
You just see TJ Watt just keep working, try and get the hands clear. You see him there, dip his inside shoulder, come back up into the pocket. Baker Mayfield's going to hold the football like that. That's what's going to happen.
Baker Mayfield is clutching the ball again. You know, he had the tight end open. He's looking right, pumps, and right there, he's cocking the ball, and the tight end's open. And that is a sign of a quarterback that's not confident pulling the trigger.
Right up under the chin. I got him down, though. I got him down.
2nd and 7. That's batted down. TJ Watt. Cracked ribs and all. Watt is having himself a night, and he's got some words from Baker.
Yes, indeed he does.
Watch what he does here. He is just going to sit there at the line of scrimmage. He's not going to rush. He's going to sit and wait. And he's just looking at Baker Mayfield. That's textbook how you do it. He's just waiting and then elevating. Look at him. He's pointing at him, too. He's in his head.
3rd and 7. Pressure right up the middle. Mayfield is flushed, and he'll slide down back at the line of scrimmage. Montravius Adams was running him down, 4th down.
You see Montravius Adams, you see he throws a nice inside move on Wyatt Teller, the right guard. Montravius Adams has played some good football. I'm not trying to be, disrespectful with Kevin Stefanski, who I like a lot. He is
oof. There's T.J. Watt. And there's sack number 4 for Watt. 20 years ago.
This is why you're not throwing the ball down the field.
Yeah, well, you're going to give James Hudson, a rookie, some help against the guy who's one of the baddest pass rushers in the NFL?
Yeah.
That's what you get.
So if you're confused as to why I showed you that, proof is that last sack. Louis Riddick was in the process of saying he was apologizing to Kevin Stefanski because he didn't want to sound disrespectful. But what he was in the process of doing was describing what offensive game plan would let your rookie offensive tackle go against TJ Watt one-on-one all night for. Why would you do that? Why would you let that happen? Essentially, he's asking Kevin Stefanski, what are you doing? And to me, as a Browns fan, when I watched that in 2021 and when I watch it now, it is a coach that is fed up with his quarterback, that refused to sit down and get healthy, insisted on playing badly and hurting the team. He threw his hands up and he said, okay, figure it out. Since you're so big and bad, figure it out. And he didn't. He didn't. He got sacked by TJ Watt 4 times. He got sacked that night 10 times. What the Browns just did to Geno Smith on Sunday, the Steelers did to Baker Mayfield that day. And that is what it looks like when Kevin Stefanski hates his quarterback. So, again, I don't think he's harboring any bad feelings for Shedeur Sanders. Because I know what it looks like when he harbors bad feelings for his quarterback. That's all I'm gonna say. You could disagree, and that's okay. Let me know in the comments what you feel like, but that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I'm really not gonna argue with you if you feel otherwise. That's just me, and that's just what I think. But while we're on the topic of Baker Mayfield on Sunday night got injured, and that same shoulder that was hurt in 2021 that caused him to play like trash and essentially lose his job in Cleveland, that same shoulder is injured right now. And the reporting was earlier this morning he has a sprained AC joint. It was good news. It was positive news that he'll be okay and most likely will play this week. But I just want to say, if you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, I hope you don't have to go through what we went through in 2021. Because you guys have, relatively recently won a Super Bowl down there. You guys had the greatest quarterback of all time take snaps and play football down there. Cleveland, we're on our 42nd quarterback since 1999 or whenever it is. I don't even know when the list starts. We're on our 42nd quarterback. We know what dysfunction looks like. I don't think you guys really know what dysfunction looks like. And I wanna pull up a tweet really quick because it's a little interesting. And this tweet says, "Who is the worst quarterback in the NFL by completion percentage over expectation plus EPA in the second half of this season after starting ninth best at the beginning of the season?" And this is a really heavy into the analytics Twitter page. Um, but if you look down here, the last quarterback on the list is Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield has been one of the worst quarterbacks in the league from since week 7. He's fallen off a cliff. He's really fallen off a cliff. And again, I'm telling you, if you're a Tampa Bay fan, I hope you don't have to go through what we went through. And I got another tweet. And this is speaking to Tampa Bay fans, NFL fans that just, watch everything, but this person says, "What should the Bucks do with Baker Mayfield this offseason? His contract ends after the 2026 season, and it seems likely that he'll want 55 plus million a year. He's a lot of fun, but he's benefited a lot from being in a bad division during his time in Tampa Bay. Decisions will have to be made. Decisions will have to be made, and you don't have to pay him this offseason. You could let him play out the last year of his contract in 2026 and see what it looks like. Now, granted, he's played extremely well in Tampa, and these past 5 to 6 weeks could just be a blip in the radar. They're getting healthy. Chris Godwin came back. Bucky Irving is coming back this week. Emeka Ibuka did, suffer an injury. He hasn't missed any games, but he did suffer an injury. Mike Evans could be back for the playoffs. It could just be a blip on the radar. It's very possible. But I've seen this movie before. Unfortunately for Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Cleveland Browns organization and Cleveland Browns fans have seen this movie before. It doesn't have a happy ending. I doubt that the Bucks ending to this story will be as bad as the Browns trading 3 first-round picks for an alleged sex offender. I doubt it'll be that bad, but it could end bad. We'll see. We'll see. Um, and that's all I got to say about that right now. It's just something to keep your eye on. Watch what this Sunday if he plays. it'll be real interesting to see what he looks like. They play the Cardinals, I believe. Last time I checked, it was before that they said it was good news. The Bucks were favored by 2.5. I don't know what it is now. I'm gonna be keeping my eye on that one closely. And all right, before I get out of here, I just want to come back around and again, something else I said the Ravens were going to walk you down. Pittsburgh Steelers, Pittsburgh Steelers fan base. I told y'all, Baltimore was coming. Well, they not coming no more. They here. They here now. How do you feel? How do you feel? Doesn't feel great, I'm sure. And not only are the Ravens leading the NFC or AFC North, Cincinnati getting Joe Burrow back. That make y'all a little nervous? A little nervous? It might not. It probably doesn't. Honestly, he doesn't play very well in the division. So y'all probably don't have to be worried about that. But what y'all do have to worry about is the left wrist of Aaron Rodgers. Y'all got to worry about that. Y'all better hope he comes back and is able to play football because what Mason Rudolph gave y'all, not great. Not great. Um, but I just wanted to check in. I just wanted to check in. Are like Steelers fans, are y'all good? Because I told y'all. I wasn't the only one telling y'all. Everybody knew Omar coming. They're here now. They're here now. Even with Lamar Jackson not really healthy and playing well at all, they're still they're still on the doorstep, on your doorstep, talking about can Aaron Rodgers come out to play? We want to hang out. We want to throw the ball around. We want to play kill the carrier. I'm from Cleveland. We want to play Dino Man. So let me know in the comments how you feel if you're a Steelers fan. Let me know. But that being said, it's another episode of the BJack 70 show. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate everybody being here, new subscribers, new followers, new everything. Again, if you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and once again, drop your mailbag questions. I will answer them in the mailbag video coming on Wednesday. And Brandon's Bets is also coming on Wednesday. And yeah, so a lot of content coming this week. Um Happy Thanksgiving, but I'll see you before Thanksgiving. But yeah, again, appreciate you watching. Thank you. And until the next one, we'll see you.